was chatting with Vic the other week.
Right, yep.
And he told me this delightful anecdote that I hope will be every bit as funny now as I pinch it from him.
Okay.
Basically, this was last year, maybe the year before, he took his wife, Kath, to a murder mystery weekend in Yorkshire or something.
Oh, I hope that was fun.
They just went because they thought it would be sort of, a fun weekend. But it turns out, they discovered, there are people who do this sort of semi-professionally.
Semi-professionally?
Well...
It's not a real crime, so you'll never be able to do it professionally.
Semi-professionally in the sense that they sort of... The commitment and dedication they apply to this is the same that they might to an actual job. They were like, sort of, before anything had even happened, and it was just sort of a meet and greet in the hallway, they were walking around with notebooks going, yes, and what's your name? And where are you from? And what do you do? Ah, so your name's Vic, is it? Oh, and your middle name's Timothy. So that would make you Vic Tim. Alright, okay. I'll remember that. After the meet and greet and whatever, they all went into a big hall for a meal for their dinner. This was on the Friday or something. And Vic was sort of getting to know the people around him. And he was having a really nice chat with the person next to him. when all of a sudden, this person is like, and Vic's there like,
I can imagine that so well.
And so someone rushes over, nobody move! Nobody touch the body! And then, taking the pause, this man has been murdered! And Vic's like, what? I like to think, maybe Vic just isn't a great conversationalist. This guy was like, if I have to hear one more story about his daughters, I'm like, that's it, I'm out of here. I know it's 2 hours earlier than I was supposed to be, but I can't stand it. This is murder enough as it is.
That is so funny.
Oh, it gets worse. Vic was obviously quite sort of taken aback by this. He decided he needed to go to the toilet. So he went to the toilet, which was through the bar, so beyond the bar. After using the facilities in the recommended manner, he came back out and found another body. And understandably, he was like, "What do I do? Is this part of it? Is this someone who's actually been? Is this someone who's just passed out or whatever?" So I don't know. I think he just sort of went up to him, sort of, "Hello, hello." I think in that situation, I'd be like, no! Who did this to you? Who did this to you? Don't you die on me! And then, I'd have really tested the actor's commitment to the role. I'd have begun giving... Sorry?
Tickled them?
Oh, that's disgusting. I'd have begun giving mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Just to see if he goes, get off me, get off me, get off! Or whether he would, stay dedicated and he wouldn't break character.
You've got to be desperate for the paycheck if you're prepared to actually let that happen to you.
I can think of loads of men who would love to have mouth-to-mouth resuscitation from me. I am a catch.
I challenge you, name me one. I can't think of a man that would want to have mouth-to-mouth resuscitation from me, and I am a catch.
Anyway, out of the blue, this woman appears and says to Vic, "What's going on here?" And I don't know. I just found, honestly, I just found him like this. And then so she says, "Oh, I'm an inspector at the local police force."
Thank heaven she turned up.
And I think I imagine she was wearing a hat and a big coat or whatever. And she whips out this notebook, starts writing down some details. Then she gets out some chalk, and drawing it around the body. Then she disappears. And I think Vic said he never saw her again for the entire weekend. At this point, everyone else in the dinner hall has sort of been alerted to what's happened. And they've all flooded out and they said, Vic, what's happened here? And he said, "Oh, it's another body. I think there was a knife in his back." And they were like, "How did this white chalk line get here? Is this chalk out? How did this chalk outline get here, Vic?" He's like, "There was an inspector. I don't know where she's gone." At the end of the final day, they all had sort of a big recap in, I don't know, some kind of living room or lounge or something, and the person who was sort of saying it, who was sort of the host, had this massive flip and said, "Okay, who had the opportunity to put in the poison for the Vic?" Okay, second body. Who was first on the scene? And Vic just like, "Oh, I'm being framed! I'm being framed! No, I'm not a killer." I was thinking, I'd love to go on one of those things. It'd
Yeah,
be so
seriously,
awesome.
I'd love it.
What would be really cool would be if you and I went on one with Emily, but didn't tell Emily it was a murder mystery weekend. So, hey, Emily, let's go away for a weekend. You know? Oh, we need
She would be so panicked. We'd have to try and sit next to the person that's going to die.
It would be the perfect opportunity to murder somebody,
Yeah,
wouldn't
wouldn't
it? Just at an actual murder mystery weekend.
I'm sure there's a CSI episode in that. If
Yes.
there's not already been one.
A big hello to Vic's daughter Danny, who may well be watching.